establish. So my guest and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And also, I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest, Mary Tapa. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to me to connect with like-minded women. Now, if you've never met before, then my name is Rae, and I love to help women to crossroads in their life, heal their past, create their future, and transform their present so they can take charge of their destiny in the here and now. I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and I use future life progression, past life regression, angelic Reiki, angel oracle cards, guided meditation, hypnosis to help women who feel lost get clear on their reason for being here. And I've also created a transformational journey to help you take charge of your destiny and a journey through lifetimes. Now, each episode of the show will cover various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation or angel oracle card reading, with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Mary Tapa, about how paying attention to our longings and discontents, shaping the power of our thoughts so we can transform our lives. Now, Mary is a heart-centered transformational coach and host of Inside Out Alignment podcast. As a sought-after professional speaker, Mary offers inspiring, in-depth coaching programs that help clients achieve new heights of meaning, success, and spiritual aliveness. Mary is filled with joy and gratitude as she works with people to transform their lives and close the gap between the life they were living and the life they love living. So without further delay, hello, Mary, and welcome to the Angels of Destiny show. How are you today?
Thank you, Rae. I am doing great and a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Even with all the technical issues, it's brilliant that you're here. I said I wouldn't do any sudden movements. So before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this show, but you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Mary and I want to be part of this conversation. So please don't be shy. Also, as this is episode 111, an angelic number, I'm offering you the chance to win an angel oracle card reading with me. So to be in with a chance to win, you just need to say hello or comment and share the show. And if you're watching the replay before Wednesday, the 26th of May, and you comment and share, you will also go into the draw. So, Mary, why don't you tell us about your journey and the power of our thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. My journey, I would say that where I am today was never what I thought I would do, or what I'll be doing, or being a heart-centered, transformational life coach. Because I took business management and administration. So I grew up just following what everybody around me was doing. I really didn't think about what I would love or, about my career or many decisions in my life. And because I wasn't born in that environment where we were instilled those values about thinking about the things that we would love to do. So I think like 7 years ago, as my husband and I, we moved to the United States, and I was working, but I always felt like so unfulfilled and had this deep longing for more. And but I usually like just didn't pay attention to that. Like I felt like I don't know why this is happening, but it didn't really mean a lot to me. As time went on, this long it became even stronger. And I would like have conversations with my husband. And one day I was like, I just feel like I need to do something else, but I really cannot put my finger to it. It's so hard for me to like really find. I feel like I have something else I can do. I really want to serve, but I don't have clarity on that. And as time went on, we were in a situation, and we were trying to talk about that. And he said, "You've always said that you have this deep longing. So did you find out what that is?" And I said, no. So we really set an intention about this. And he said, okay, since you really want to go back to school, you're already in school and you still have this deep longing, you're still trying to find out what to do. What if you really, pay more attention to this and find out what that is? So we started like meditation, share some real ideas, did some little research, and I kept like really focusing and really asking that higher power, that power that breathes each and every one of us for clarity. And as I did, one morning he sent me a video and he said, "Can you watch this and give me feedback?" And I watched the video. Not only did I connect with the person that was sending the message, but the message that was being given, I felt like I was so connected to it, and I felt a resounding yes in me about that on that in that message. And I'm like, wow, so this is it. Then I called him back. I'm like, okay, where did you get this video and how did it like? He said, no, I just found it on my feed. And when I listened to just the first few minutes of it, I said, this is my wife. And that's why I sent it to you. I'm like, that is so right. And that's how I went through it called the coaching program and became a heart center transformational life coach. And I really never felt more alive than that particular time because I was like, oh, I finally got this. And it gave me a sense of really certainty and some peace. Like, really, finally, I found my course. I found that purpose for which I am here. I am just not here doing everything else that my environment or people around me are doing, or maybe just for money or this, but I'm doing something that I'm deeply connected with. And that was really so fulfilling. So, trying to talk about the power of thoughts. Yes, we did put our thoughts on that. And what really like made me put more emphasis on the power of our thoughts is even before I got to this point of doing what I'm doing today, when I was like 22, coming from a background where when they get to a certain age and they don't have maybe a husband, they feel like they're left out and things like that. I had like some pressure from my mother, from my sister, and my mom. I had a childhood friend who had just had a child, and my mom was like, "Oh, your friend has a child, so how about you or whatever?" I'm like, "What do you mean by that? I am happy for her. Why are you trying to make me feel like I'm losing, I'm missing something? I'm young and I don't feel like I'm missing out for anything. I'm still trying to find my way in the things that I would love to do, or I'm trying to work on my career. So why are you asking me about a child? I'm not ready for that. It's not even in my agenda right now." So it kind of like puts me in that perspective now of, okay, even if I wanted a child, I want to have a husband to have that child with. I just don't want to have a child. I want a child when I have another my partner, so we can bring them up together. And it was kind of that time I started like really focusing on who I would love to have in my life as a partner. So I put my thoughts on that, and it didn't matter. I can't really tell you, Ray, or those of you watching, what was really leading me to be that, to put to have that hold and be like, I'm not going to let myself be distracted. I'm just going to follow my heart and just leave everything, in to that power that breathes me and let it unfold. I'm not going to be like I'm rushing myself into it. I'm just going to let it, go. And then I'm going to abstain myself from anything can block my way. So I just gave that thought. And the one thing that I did that actually, that when I look back, I'm like, wow, this was amazing, was I was so clear about who I wanted as a partner. I thought about it. I wrote that down. And I wanted somebody who would love me just the way I was, somebody with whom I was going to grow. I wanted somebody who was going to be my best friend, with whom I was going to raise our kids, and that we'll be playing together and really having some good communication and things like that. Who was going to be God fearing. And I said it, and most of the time I would just sit down and just be thinking about it and be like, oh, it's going to be an amazing, relationship and things like that. So as time went on, and I think it was like after 3 years, or yeah, after like 3 or 4 years, just letting it, I was in school, so it really didn't matter. I was just like, okay. whatever happens. And when I finally met my husband, it was kind of like I asked so many questions, and he was so inquisitive. He himself was so like asking a lot of questions about me. So it was like we had this way of really trying to connect to each other. And as time went on, he was like, when I first saw you, I saw you as my wife, not like a girlfriend. And he told like even his friends, he's like, I saw this girl. I don't want her to accept me as a girlfriend. If she says yes, she has to be my wife. And that was like, wow. And as we spoke, he never told me about that. This was after the fact that he actually told me about what he said to his friends. And as we spoke, and I felt connected and everything, and I was like, okay, I feel like this is the person we are going to grow together. And that was like one of my greatest desire. I wanted somebody with whom I was going to grow. I didn't want somebody who already had a lot. I wanted somebody who is starting. So we hold the hand of each other and support each other in our growth, be it in our career, in our spiritual life, and everything. And I was like, okay, I really feel like this is the person. And so we started, and he was very open. And up till today, it's just like we just met yesterday, so it's always like so fresh, and we have a great relationship. And I feel like this thought of ours is very important. We have to be able to discern, to filter the kind of thoughts that we allow, because we often have some disempowering, there are distractions, there are disempowering thoughts, there are things that other people say to us, and we'll think about those things. So if we do not pay attention to what we are thinking, for example, you can have a day that you're having a lot going on. If you, before you go to sleep, if you have everything like just getting in that space of being worried, having that anxiety, and still thinking about it over and over, and letting maybe your ego preventing you from. For me, it happens a lot. If I let my ego take the upper hand, I'm still thinking about it. Like I don't want to be humbled or humble myself and have a real conversation with myself about the things I'm thinking and trying to have some real clarity, be it being aware of it. I can't really go to sleep. So I have learned to like really hone into that space of making sure that the thoughts that I'm engaging are the ones that are not going to sway me from being in connection with my very essence, and which is not often easy. Sometimes I just say, Mary, check your ego. Like I'm just like I need to be truthful to myself. If I'm not, I'm not going to be able to get out of there. So to me, our thoughts are so powerful. And just looking at the life that I'm living today with my husband, just thinking about my past and see where I am today, it is amazing. And we have a choice to choose. That is the wonderful gift each each and every one of us have, the power to choose which thoughts to allow and which to disallow. And which I'm not saying that it's easy. It is not at all. But when you have maybe like-minded people who can support you, you have people with who also think in that way. It makes it a little more, easy, or it helps you channel or be in that space of checking yourself and making sure you're doing the things that will build you up. So another thing that I want to share about my journey is, or the power of thought, is when we were trying to get a house. So we were in a two-bedroom apartment, and we had a third child. And I was like, okay, this is not going to work. Both of us actually. You have a child, and then you have a room. The two boys are there. Now you have a little girl. You have your room, and then the baby's there in the crib, but she's growing up. So how are we going to work this out? So we started thinking about getting a home. And while we were thinking about this, I was like, I just want a home that is so spacious. That's what I was thinking in my mind. I want it to be so spacious that the kids can run around, because this apartment is so small and things like that. And my husband was like, uh, your choice is my choice. So I was just thinking about it, just thinking about this vast home, just thinking about the rooms, just thinking how beautiful and comfortable and peaceful their house is. And I'm like, it's going to be a holy ground. It's going to be where we're going to build, a greater relationship with our kids. We're going to play games and things like that. So the more I thought about it, the more I felt so connected to their house, or what is it I really I was looking forward to. Then we found a house. And when we came to see the house, we went and we looked for different homes, but I really didn't feel, go around, you're hunting for it, but yeah. So I couldn't like really feel like, oh, this is the one I want or whatever. But when we got to the one, just before I got through the door, I felt like, like you feel sort of joy
Yeah.
that I really cannot explain. And we opened, and when they opened the door and we walked in, and that day we came with the kids, and the kids were running all over the place. And when they opened the door, it was just like so vast and so welcoming, and I felt like, oh my goodness. And I called my husband from the side and said, "This is the house." Because I was just so happy. And then so we took everything, did the paperwork as time went on. We did the paperwork and we finally came into the house, and it was just like, wow. And as we stayed in this house, I think like two, because when we came from the apartment, we just had like our couch. We didn't have a lot of stuff. We just had few things. And I started thinking, like 2 years in, I'm like, oh, this house is exactly what I asked for. But there are some missing pieces that I never thought of when I was thinking about this house. So I'm like, okay, I didn't say anything about the decorations, about, everything that I wanted to have in the house. My only goal was I just want this vast house with this number of rooms and things like that. This is exactly it, but these other pieces are missing. So as I thought about that, and then I drew my husband's attention to that, and he was like, "You are right." So as so as I started talking about this, I started writing some stuff, and I made a vision board. I put some couches, I put some other stuff that I really wanted in the house, and I, started connecting to all these. I'm like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. Think about the decoration, the wall, the pictures, and whatever I wanted in the house. And as time went on, a year, things started falling into place, and I'm just like, oh. And so like today when I sit in, I'm just like, yeah, most of these things that I finally like talked about, they have all come into place, and it's so amazing how powerful our thoughts are. So to me, thoughts are everything. Understanding and being in real, be in that energetic mode, and really paying attention to what we are thinking about, no matter the situation, whether it's in our health and well-being, whether it's in our love and relationship, our vocation, or the amount of money we want, or whatever it is very important to like really pay attention, being aware of it, and then setting an intention for what is it we want, and then looking at the result that we want. If it is in alignment with what we really want, then take the necessary action towards that which we are thinking of. So for me, it is really like I've lived it. Like when I look back, it really makes me think of, yes, our thoughts are really powerful. Yeah, because there are also times that when I think negative thoughts, or I think things that are not in alignment with myself, I feel so uncomfortable. I feel so even guilty. I feel so out of place. And not only that, it affects those around me. So I have paid attention to that. And it's not a good place to be. As far as it's not a good place to be, because not only does it drain me, it stresses me out. And then I yell, like, because I am not in alignment.
Yeah.
So it's made me like really be in that place of checking myself all the time. And sometimes even with my kids, I will call them and say, maybe I said something or out of place. I'll be like, I'll call maybe any of them and say, or the person to whom I was talking to and be like, oh, I'm so sorry that I said this, or that or that. I was just in a very that place is not an excuse, but I am really sorry for saying what I said and things like that. And that has helped me be really to be more grounded and to be able to take ownership of the things that I do that are wrong, or and be in that place of really trying to correct myself to be a better person today than I was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, makes absolute
Yeah.
sense. And we've got a few people. So Graham is here and he says hi and hugs. Hi, Graham. And Keith. Ooh, hello. Hello, Keith. Welcome back again. And Paul Seraphim. Hello, Paul. And who else? We've got Kelly Jane. She says hi. Hi, Kelly Jane. And Debbie is here and she says, oh, sorry, Debbie, you there? She says hi, and I believe that Anshu is here. Hi, Ange. Thank you for tuning in. And Graham has come up with you. And actually, one of the things he a couple of things he said, which I thought was Graham. No, that cat wasn't mine. Wasn't my cat meowing that you heard. Um, but yeah, Graham, sort of when you were talking earlier, said connection or emergence within the energy itself, and this opened up within.
That really.
Yeah, but this one I loved because when you were talking about you were asking your husband when you met him the questions, but he answered them all correctly. um, and that so yeah, and Graham also says trust of one's own intention and that clarity helps the flow of positivity of
Definitely.
divine energy, and taking full ownership of words is difficult to admit, but one that gives
Release.
release. Yeah, and it totally does. So as people know, I'm very much, what words you use can be important. Like the word believe. I don't use the word believe because it has the word lie in the middle of it. So
Makes sense. I've never paid attention to that.
yeah, so it's it is one of those things, and when thoughts do sort of like come in, it's actually notice them, but a lot of people do find it really hard, with their thoughts to manifest things, because you're kind of like, okay, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then several years down the line, it's like, well, this never happened. Well, why,
Mm.
why hasn't this happened? So how can you get your mind in that place where you're thinking about it and you are connected to it, but you're not just not connected to it, if that makes sense?
I would say being in that place of really seeing, maybe thinking about what you want and getting connected to it, is about you like really honing down to what is it. I think the first thing is being very clear about what is it one wants, because clarity is power. It guides you, and if you know the destination, then you'll be able to like know when you are not in the lane of going to the direction or going to that destination. So for me, I would say our minds are always wandering anyway. So it's easy for us to be swayed by a lot of things and many distractions in the world. And spending time to meditate, spending time. Sometimes I just, because I wasn't like always good in like really just being focused in a particular thing, even when I was meditating, because my mind was always wandering. So what I would do, a tactic that I learned was I would look at my doorknob and just pay attention to it. Sometimes when I'm in my room, and just pay attention to it for 5 minutes and put my like my timer 5 minutes and say, okay, I just want to pay attention to that and see if my mind will wander. And if it does, all I do is bring it back to that knob, that doorknob. So the more I did that, I did that. Sometimes I could do it 2 or 3 times a day. And when I'm in a room, some days I might not do it, but I always try to make sure I do that to practice on how to get my mind into focusing on a particular issue or something where I really want some results. And that has helped me a lot. And also sometimes just focusing on my breathing when as I breathe. So I just pay attention to my breathing. And when my mind sways to something else, I bring it back to that. And sometimes I'm thinking I'm already doing something else, and I be like, okay, I need to get back to where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. So that when you do that, the more you do that, our minds is just like muscle. So the more you do that, we're strengthening that muscle, that concentration muscle, that muscle to focus on that which we are looking forward to. So the more you do that, it takes time, but you have to be patient with yourself. And one thing is, don't blame yourself. Yes, don't blame yourself. Don't be like, oh no, this is not working. This is no. Keep at it, and just try with few minutes, and then you get into maybe 3 minutes, then you go to 5 minutes, then you go to 7 minutes. Just try bit by bit, take the time, and then you see what comes in your way. The more you do that, the more you'll be able to focus on what is it you're looking forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose when you say with clarity, it's not like, okay, so I don't know, I want to get married in 3 years.
Right.
You need to be a bit more clarity on that. What type of person you want to be married to. You can't just be generalist. You've got to try and narrow it down. I mean, do you have to narrow it down to literally the finer points, like, I don't know, color of eyes and that, or can you just keep it a little bit more general?
For that part, I think being clear, you got to be clear about the person and about yourself. What are you going to be to that person? Who do you want that person to be with you?
Yeah,
How do you want the person to be with you? So for me, I really get into that space of making sure that um whether it's about, for me, when I was to be really clear about this, what I did was I said I didn't want somebody who would smoke, who was a drunkard, so I had like all those together, who had
yeah,
integrity, who was faithful, who was very loving, who loved his family, and who was respectful, God fearing, who would love to work and will love evolution, open-minded, who's open-minded. Who am I supposed to be to that person? I want to be a respectful wife. I want to be a partner for life. I want to be that supportive person. I want to be able to understand him so I can be able to bring to him that which will empower him and always make him energetic in the things that he loves. I want to be in that space um, of peace, not only with myself, but also be honest with him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And yeah. So for me, it wasn't more maybe about maybe the eyes. I didn't put the eyes, or maybe even, and you can put that, because depending on everybody
yeah,
and every person, you know what you would love in your life, and that is unique for every person. And for you to, if you need to hone down even more, I think that is a good thing. Yeah. I think
yeah.
that is important, because you want to make decisions that are in alignment with you, your core values, and the things you love. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the way you said in there. It's also what you can bring as well, rather than what the person can bring. And I'm assuming that that's the same with anything that you're trying
Mm,
to manifest your thoughts. Even the house, there's this spacious house, but what can I bring to that house
perhaps.
as well, which probably is something that you don't really think about when you're manifesting, because you're thinking, okay, I need to focus on what it is, get that energy, but really we forget about what we can bring to the table
Yeah.
as well for it. So that was a really good point about that. And yeah, Graham says, yeah, the more clarity, the more specific your thoughts will
Yeah.
be answered. Yeah. So the coaching you do, this heart centered coaching, I mean, it's brilliant that you're in so tune with your husband that basically he found that, he came across that for you, and he really wanted to support you in that. So what is that coaching, that heart centered coaching?
Well, being somebody who has been in a place where I wasn't in the right career or I wasn't doing something that I loved, I figured out it will be. I know I'm not the only person. I know where I worked. Many people were not so happy with where they were, and I felt like if we put in applications for most of the jobs that we have, right?
Yeah.
We put in the application. Sometimes we don't put it in because that is what we love. Maybe the situation in which we find ourselves, our circumstances push us to try to find something. Maybe we have bills that we need to pay. Maybe we just had a child, we need to take care of that child, and we are pushed to we need to get something to be able to get along. As time is going on. And sometimes it's, oh, everybody's doing this. Okay, I need to get into this career. Then we put it in, we put an application and we go in and we start working. But as time goes on, you're waking up in the morning, you're feeling less energized, and you're like, oh, not again. You want to be doing something that when you're waking up in the morning, you're happy. You feel like, not to say that when you're doing something that you love, it's not going to be difficult. It be difficult. Sometimes when you start something, you don't know everything about it, so you're going to have some challenges. But at least if it's something that you love, you're ready to go for it because you have a vision for that. You have it's in alignment with your core values. You're passionate about that, and you will find ways on how to go there, and it's going to be easier for you to navigate through that. Whereas when you are in a place where you feel so unfulfilled, you feel like, oh, I wish I was doing something else. And it's like before you get to work, you're so ready. Oh, I can't wait for this day to be over. I've heard that so many times. I've said it
Yeah.
myself. I've said it myself. And it's just like you really want to hone down to find that place and to be able to do something that you feel, comfortable, that you feel alive. Because I think it's often said the world is not looking just for people who come and do some service or whatever. They want to see people who have come alive. And whenever you do something that you love, you become alive.
Yeah.
And that life, that energy, that is what you send out to everybody out there or those in your world. And that is very important. That is very important to me because our jobs are where we go. We spend maybe 8 hours. If you're spending 8 hours in 24 hours in that particular place, it better be somewhere that you feel really comfortable, that you feel really aligned with to do. So for me, I felt like, okay, being in that place and I was able to get out of there. I know many people are out there who are still in that place. So I help people who feel like really stuck, unfulfilled, and are really trying to find clarity on what is it they would love. So to hone down into their longings and the discontent. That discontent is the feeling of not wanting to be there. You have that deep longing for something that will bring you more life, that will make you really happy, and for them to find that clarity on what is it they love, and then finally create it for a more fulfilling life, for a life that they love, for a life that brings them more joy. They can do the things that they love. They wake up every morning, they are happy, they are joyous, and they're ready to make a difference, not only in their life, in the life of other people, so they can be an example and inspire those in their world as well. So that's what my coaching is about. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah, and there are so many people that really just that are stuck, that don't know, that do want to sort of like wake up every morning, with that smile on their face, going, "Yes, I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to what I'm going to be doing today." And Debbie says, "Yep, I totally agree." And Graham says, "It is not about the money. Intent again helps when you love like what you are doing."
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, which is that
That's big.
absolutely true. And when you were just talking about it, you can hear your passion, your enthusiasm. you know, no, for it, which is what is so amazing when you're really passionate about something. It's just like everything else, just kind of works um, with it. And Debbie again says, absolutely. And don't forget everyone watching, you know, that's been commenting, say hello, you know, don't forget you are in within a chance because the show is episode 111, which is an angelic number. So it's brilliant that Mary sort of like was on today's show. You know, so there is a angel oracle card reading out there to be won. Just comment, even you saying hello and then sharing will get you put in the draw. For a full angel oracle card reading with me. So on that note, Mary, I always ask my guests on the show whether they would like me to pull an angel oracle card for themselves and those watching, or do a mini guided meditation. So you get to choose. What would you like me to do?
Pull a card. Oracle
Yeah,
card.
we like that. We like it when people say cards and that, because it means I don't have to do as much work with the guided meditation. But I do love doing my guided meditations.
Sure, sure.
So it's always when I do the cards, I do the cards for what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time, which is a little bit contradictory to what I do, because obviously I do work with the past, but when I work with the past, it's to heal the past so that it brings you back to the current. And when I take people into the future, we go into the future to bring back to the current so that it is in the moment in time. So what does Mary and everyone who's watching this need to know for their highest good at this moment in time? What does Mary and everyone who's watching this need to know for their highest good at this moment in time? Okay. Perfect. Perfect for what we're talking about. Impasse. Reflect and redirect your energy.
Beautiful.
How perfect does that fit in
In alignment. Yes.
with what we've
What
actually
we just
been talking about? So
yes.
yeah, it's confirmation, Mary, you know, that you are literally, you know, doing what you're supposed to be doing, and by speaking about this and sharing it, you know, helping people to actually redirect their energy on what they want, you know, on their thoughts and patterns, is absolutely brilliant. And to those watching, you know, listen to what Mary's been saying. You know, this is a time to reflect and redirect your energy. So if you are at that impasse where you're not sure where you're supposed to be going, take the time to reflect. You know, as Mary said, you know, take that time to stare at a doorknob or a spot on the ceiling. Just get into that space and just allow the thoughts to come to you about where you can redirect your energy and see how far forward you'll go. So yeah, it's brilliant that card came out
Yeah.
for you, Mary, and everyone who's watching. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you.
And Keith says, I'm certainly enjoying listening while I paint. Thank you. I like it when people can multitask. It's always brilliant when people multitask. So, Mary, do you have any thoughts or insights to leave our viewers?
Mm, the one thought I am just going to leave is trust in yourself, trust in your God, do what you love, and be connected to your very essence. And let's all be the change we want to see in our world, because we are the change. We are the only people who can make our world, our beautiful blue planet, a better place. So, what I love about what I do is the joy, the changes I see in the faces of other people, of my clients. It brings me more joy. And the more we are all connected in this way, divinely with what we'd love to do, the change will make with not only within ourselves, we expand that to those in our world, our family, our friends, and everything. When it does happen, people take note. They notice that and they ask questions. And it's a beautiful thing for us to be. So be an inspiration where you are to those in your world. Thank you.
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for that. That is beautiful, those words of wisdom. So I hope everyone that you have found it insightful and that the words of wisdom Mary has given you will help you further on your journey. So Mary, if people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
I am on Facebook. That's Mary Tapa, and I am also my podcast Inside Out Alignment. I'm on Anchor. I'm on Rock Public. It has like 7 platforms. If you Google it, you'll be able to find that. And also on YouTube, Inside Out Alignment. So yeah, those are the platforms that you can find me on.
Yep, and what I do is I'll post the links into the comments. And I've been a guest on Mary's show, so
Yes.
she's interviewed me as well. So yeah, it's a really good show. If you get a chance to listen to it, not just some saying because I was on it, but Mary does have some brilliant guests, and there is some brilliant conversations that go on. So do check out the links when I put them in the comments. And before we wrap up, Graham says, positivity helps this world and everyone here,
Yes.
which is absolutely perfect. So thank you. Yeah, and Debbie says, really, thank you. Really interesting. No, thank you there. Thank you for putting that. So, of course, if you have reached that crossroads in your life and you need help finding your life purpose and getting more clear on your path, then I would love to be that guide for you. So please feel free to reach out and connect with me, and we can arrange a free 20 to 30-minute video call. So that we can find out more about each other and whether I can actually help you take charge of your destiny. And of course, I do have the Angel Wings membership community where you get a chance to grow with ascended masters, archangels, gods, goddesses, oracle cards, and other members of the group to spread your wings and spread your wings and soar. And also, if you want to sign up for my weekly newsletter, you can get a guided relaxation meditation as a thank you. And there are a couple of other bonuses there as well. So thank you so much for watching. And I would like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more women who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny just like you. And of course, if you do share it, you are in with a chance to win an Angel Oracle card reading with me. Yeah, and if you are watching this on YouTube, please do hit the bell to be notified when the show goes live and subscribe to my channel. And there will be a link on the YouTube thing so you can subscribe to Mary's channel as well. Works out perfectly. So I look forward to seeing you all at the same time, same place next week. Take care, and thank you, Mary, and thank you to those who've been
Thank you. Thank
sharing.
you, Rae. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It's
Thank
a pleasure
you.
to be here. Thank you so much for everything.
Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone.